There we go. Okay. Let me turn my little gun on. Check the temperature on this, and then it's measuring at 89 degrees. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's at 89. I'll let my other camera know it's at 89. And then let's measure out these oils. They're at 111. So not exactly 10 apart, but it'll do. It's under 120. That's the goal. I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in this kaolin clay and this colloidal oatmeal. So I already pre-mixed it in there. I'm just gonna dump that in there. And then we're gonna do this pumpkin puree. So, like I said, we're gonna do it at 2 tablespoons per pound. Last time, because I made this soap already. Last time I made it, this stuff went everywhere when I opened it. I should like maybe cut it so I don't get pumpkin on my face. You see that? I got some on my hand. That's okay though. Alright. It went better than I thought it would. So, here it is. I have my tablespoon measuring spoon. So let's just do that at 1. We're doing this 4 times. 2. And the color is going to be so pretty, y'all. 3. And 4. Push all this down, make sure I get it all in there. And then after I open this, even though there's some left over, it's not very much, I just throw it away because you can't really like reuse that after the fact. So keep that in mind. Alright, so let's get the stick blender on. The stick blender will be loud, but magic is happening, guys, so it's got to be loud. Oh no, this is tangled. Alright. Okay. Let's plug this up. And we are going to stick blend this just to mix it before we add our lye solution in. I got some pumpkin up here, so I'm just trying to make sure I get all of that in here. I actually use my spatula. Get all this in here. I remember one guest who was here told me about how somebody was doing puree, but they mixed it themselves and they didn't properly mix it, so there was like chunks of like pineapple in the soap. That ain't good, y'all. That is not good. That's looking pretty incorporated, and even if it's not, we're about to stick blend more with the lye solution, so it's okay. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to leave the stick blender in here, and I'm going to pour the lye solution in, and I'm going to kind of pour it at an angle because I want to avoid bubbles. Because if you have bubbles in soap, it becomes holes after the soap sets up, and we don't want holes in our soap. We want full bars of soap. So we're going to put this at an angle just so that we can stop the fall, allow it to kind of fall a little more slower if it hits the stick blender, and pour it slowly. Okay, I'll put this to the side. And now, guys, my favorite part, we're about to make soap now, like for real, for real. Y'all saw that color change, but I did, and it was beautiful. So this is what we call emulsification. Emulsification just means that the oils and the lye have mixed, and it's like in the most watery state that it will be in as it is mixed. And I know that it has properly mixed because even though it hasn't reached trace, which I'll show you what trace looks like. I'll stick blend so we can at least get trace so you can see that. But I know it has fully mixed because, and this is something that you probably can't see, but you can feel it when you're making soap, so definitely get out and try it. It will kind of feel like this pudding, like kind of thick but not really, like when you swirl it. Like when I do this, you see how it's almost like an instant stop because it's almost like it's heavy. So it's just like a feeling that you get after, you know, you've made soap. You'll notice that there's a difference when it's emulsified because it just kind of all like stays together in this thick way. So like a light pudding. So I know that it's emulsified because of that. But I'm going to stick blend a little bit more so we can get trace. And trace is simply when you take like your stick blender or your spatula, you wave it over the top of the batter, and when you wave it over the top, you can see pieces of soap that you waved over sitting on top, and you know that it has reached trace and it's definitely ready to be poured. Some people like at this stage the emulsification, if you got like other colors and stuff you want to add, that's the time to do it, like mix it into your separate containers so that you see, look at that, it already like hit trace and I didn't even stick blend it. So I don't know if you guys can see when I wave it over. Probably not. I should zoom in or something. But maybe you can at least see the pudding effect. But there's little soap bits that are on top. Alright, so I gotta pour my fragrance in. I never stick blend with my fragrance in. Oh, this is thickening up fast. Let me move fast, y'all. But I never do that because I don't want to over stick blend. So let's get our fragrance. We gotta move fast, y'all. Got it here? Pour it in. Try to get all of it. I always just stir it. Now we did loosen the batter up a little bit. Some fragrance oils and some essential oils will do that for you. Like lavender is a really good one at loosening up the batter for you. Now I'm just going to stir to make sure that this is properly incorporated because I don't want oil rising to the top. And if it's not properly mixed, then that's what will happen. So I normally do this probably for like 30 seconds. Just stir it to make sure it's all in there. I think we're probably good. Just to make sure, because we're still going to have a nice pour. It's not like super thick, but it's getting there. All right, let's pour this. Okay, when I pour, I always pour over a silicone, what is this called? Spatula, I forgot the word. I do that again to drop the fall so I can avoid bubbles. You see that creaminess? And then another thing that you do to also avoid bubbles, I got some extra batter which I'm going to put in this other mold in a second, is you bang. I'm going to lightly bang, but you just kind of hit it on the countertop. And that's just to make sure that all the bubbles are out and there's no holes. See, is this ready? Somewhat ready, so I can texture the top a little bit. Probably going to, yeah, wait, because it's not thick enough. So we'll just put this to the side while I pour the rest of this. And this is also thickening up because of the pumpkin. It does that with purees. It will thicken up and it will heat up. So after, I can't leave it in this mold too long because right now I am in the state of Florida and you know we got hot and hotter. That's how we roll. And I am in the garage. I got like the garage half set up to be like a soap studio for me. So it's always hot in here, y'all. So I can't keep the soap out here too long because it will overheat. And if it overheats, it will start to crack. And nothing's wrong with cracks. They just aren't pretty. Who likes things that are ugly? Not me. So we are going to avoid those cracks. Although I do have an easy way to fix cracks, which again is on my YT channel. So if y'all ain't over there, you're missing out. You really, really are. So you should make sure you go over there, because that's where I be there. And I'm trying to get better with the gram. I like the gram. It's just the gram's got intricacies that I just don't get. So, and it's like with each of these, you know, platforms, you got to learn how they operate. And I am a person of very little time, so it takes too long for me to learn what they want. I need like an easy to go guide. All right, now I'm just rambling. Y'all are like, girl, get to the point. Okay, I'm gonna texture this top. I'm just trying to make sure I get all of this soap out, because I don't like the way soap, even though this one's not even a full bar, that's okay. I'm gonna use it for lather test. The other ones I will, usually I keep one soap bar for myself, because why not? And then I use the other ones to give away as samples. So I recently went to this this farmer's market, and I met this other soaper, and she was saying that she does not give out samples. She doesn't know any soaper that does give out samples, and she doesn't think that it's a good idea. What do you guys think? Because I add 2 sample bars to each of my orders. They're not full bars. They're I'll take one of these bars and cut them in 3. And so it's a real small bar. But what do you guys think of that? Should I do away with the sample bars or keep them? Okay. So let's see if we can make this as straight as possible. Bacon too. I don't even know what this is called, but I know it works wonders for me. Look at that. Makes it all smooth. I did one video and somebody was like, are you making bread? It's like, that's what soap does to you. It makes you think it's food when it's not. Alright. That will have to do. Okay, so let's move this to the side. And now we are ready to texture. Let me just wipe my hands. I keep little napkins close by, which you should do. Alright, and then this is how I texture, but you can texture however you feel. You see how thick this is? That is okay. It's ready for this. And I can smell the pumpkin, y'all. Now I want to eat pumpkin. I am so looking forward to Thanksgiving. I don't know about y'all. I don't know. What's your favorite holiday season? Because I love the fall because I love Christmas. Oh, what happened? Thanks for the follow. I'll get you back when I get off. But I love the fall because it gives me Thanksgiving and it gives me Christmas. I love Thanksgiving because I like to eat, and it seems like the food is much better on Thanksgiving than it is on Christmas. But I love Christmas because Mariah Carey comes out with All I Want for Christmas Is You, and you know, she does a little remake of it every year, and she's one of my favorite artists, her and Whitney Houston. I said, you know what, I never got to see Whitney Houston in concert, but before I leave this world, I want to go see Miss Mariah. I have been a Mariah supporter since I was very, very young. I remember my aunt described her as promiscuous, and I was like, what does that word mean? And she told me, and I was like, I don't care, I still like her. This is just isopropyl alcohol. I spray this to cool it down a little bit, but also because if I don't, it could develop soda ash. And soda ash is not harmful. Soda ash is just when the sodium hydroxide that is dissolving and leaving the soap, it comes to the top and it mixes with oxygen and it gives this white ashy layer. We don't like ashy skin, so we don't like ashy soap. So I spray that just to sort of avoid that. Hey, so this was a different video than what I normally would do, but this was actually a soap making session that I had done live on TikTok honestly back in like October of last year, and I just had the time to get it off of my SD card. So this is the actual soap. The next day it overheated, so that's the reason why you see the dark colors, because the sugars from the pumpkin puree causes the soap to overheat, giving it this color that I really like. The color is going to change slightly, becoming a little more lighter and just more in symmetry with each other, which of course is good. So this is just how it looked the next day. Cutting it, it was actually kind of like thick. It wasn't like really soft to cut, which I thought was interesting. Because normally my soap bars, like the 24 hours later, are kind of on the softer side. But I love like the little specks that it has. Like it's a very pretty, nice color. And I really enjoy making it. So I don't do those soap making sessions live anymore on TikTok just because I don't really have the time. And I was kind of getting the same crowds of people, and most of them were soapers, just really just there to support me, not really people there that were interested in learning. Or I guess I wouldn't say that. Some of them were melt and pour soap makers, so they were interested in learning, but I just didn't really feel like I was really benefiting my TikTok community and doing it anymore. So that was the reason why I stopped. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is how the soap ended up coming out, which is still pretty. Make sure you subscribe. Thanks, guys.